Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guide 365. Another month is in the books, so it's time to go over the top 5 4K Blu-ray releases of February 2024. For physical media collectors, typically the first couple months of the year tend to be some of the slowest. I mean, there were some good releases that came out in January. Both Conan the Barbarian and Conan the Destroyer, for instance, from Arrow Video were really outstanding releases, but not in the way of new theatrical titles making their way to the format. And to a degree, the same could be said for February, but that's not to say there weren't some really excellent releases. In fact, I feel was probably one of the stronger Februaries in recent memory, at least when it comes to 4K. As we are now entering March and things start to ramp up at a more consistent level, February, I really want to highlight some of the titles that came out this past month that I feel are notable, well worth your investment, and absolutely worth checking out. So we're going to start with my number 5 pick, and it is a Kino Lorber title, and that is Gunfight at the OK Corral. In my opinion, when a movie as classic caliber as this one makes its debut on 4K, it really should look great, and thankfully it does. You get that beautiful finished Technicolor palette really shines here. The source looks pretty clean. I didn't notice any egregious blemishes or imperfections. Nice grain structure. Overall, it's presented well, and once again, classic cinema is, in my opinion, some of the best looking that can be available on the 4K formats. It's an outstanding Western. You have Burt Lancaster, Kirk Douglas. It moves at a good pace. It runs about 2 hours, and it's awesome. Kino Lorber does a great job, especially when it comes to their classic films. So yes, Gunfight at the OK Corral. I highly recommend you check this one out from February. This next release from the past month, it makes for an enjoyable thriller. Contagion from Warner Brothers, from director Steven Soderbergh, is an outstanding visual presentation. This looks fantastic. The picture is razor sharp. It's so clear. And if you know Soderbergh, he likes to employ different filters and looks to his movies. Look at Traffic, for instance. That's one of the more heavier examples. But you also get a bit of that here in Contagion. And with HDR, I think it really makes for a good looking palette. I think there's no problems whatsoever. I would have liked maybe a possible audio upgrade here. Unfortunately, they did just port over the DTS 5.1, which, given the state of the movie, it's, I guess, fine. But the extras, however, they really didn't add anything new. I would have liked to have seen more here. I give you all my full thoughts on this movie and my full review if you want to check that one out. But if you enjoy the movie and it's something you're going to revisit multiple times, Contagion on 4K is well worth the pickup. My number 3 pick is another Warner Brothers release, and while I personally didn't care for the movie, it was a blind buy. It just didn't really resonate with me. But to separate that and just judge it based off the picture and audio, I think if you are a fan of the film, absolutely pick this one up. Wonka on 4K. Visually, this looks great. You get all those nice little bells and whistles from HDR and Dolby Vision. It accentuates the color palette extremely well, and I think it's a very good-looking picture. And the Dolby Atmos, while I wouldn't necessarily label it as a demo-worthy audio mix, it's still a very immersive track. It's presented well, and there's really no audible gaps that you could find that would be missing. I mean, it has all those good musical elements. They come across very, very nicely, and it does make good use of the surround space. I think if you have an Atmos setup, you're going to appreciate what you have. And once again, while the film didn't work for me personally, fans will absolutely enjoy this one on 4K. When you think of Sony, you think of high quality as far as 4K discs go. They arguably put out some of the best looking and sounding presentations, at least as far as the major labels go. If you want to compare Sony to the boutiques, that could be a different conversation. But for me, anything they put out is going to be outstanding. And Paprika, the Japanese animated film, this was also a blind buy. But unlike Wonka, I really loved what I saw here. It was absolutely excellent, and it made for a really great looking and sounding 4K. Visually, this is a stunning looking picture. The animation style really comes to life. You get that extra flavor of HDR and Dolby Vision. Really brings out the colors. I mean, they're very just vibrant and gorgeous. And the Dolby Atmos on this one is outstanding. One of my biggest pet peeves is when studios take animated films and just nerf the audio. It is absolutely not the case here because this sounds fantastic. It has really some good immersive elements. And if you have an Atmos setup, you will certainly be impressed here. Once again, check out my full review of Paprika. I highly recommend you check this one out, even as a blind buy. So that is why it is my number 2 pick. And for my number 1 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray release from February 2024, once again, Sony comes out on top with the Columbia Classics Collection Volume 4. Now, I did a full review, breakdown, unboxing, and deep dive into this collection on my channel, so check that out if you want to hear my thoughts. But long story short, this is an outstanding 4K release. All the movies in this were just really done well. I will say maybe Sleepless in Seattle didn't get the most significant upgrade over the Blu-ray, but it's still an upgrade nonetheless. But you have classic cinema in here. They all just look gorgeous. They are in their top visual form. His Girl Friday looks fantastic. Classic black and white cinema. And you have Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? Wow, I was stunned on the picture on that one. You have Kramer versus Kramer, another good-looking one. Starman, John Carpenter's Starman, and Punch Drunk Love, in addition to Sleepless in Seattle. They all look great here. And they all, well, 5 of the 6 movies in this one received Dolby Atmos audio upgrades. There's a good amount of extras, mostly old stuff that we've seen before on previous releases. But I mean, really, Sony, when it comes to classic and newer films, they are the top mainstream label that puts these out today. I love this set. It makes me very anxious to see what we can potentially get in Volume 5. But I can't recommend this one highly enough. It is a fantastic box set, great films, and well worth the pickup, and my top pick for the month. So those are my top 5 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray releases for February 2024. If you're interested in any of the titles I talk about in this video, I will leave direct Amazon links in the comments section. If you use them, they really help out the channel. But now, I want to hear from you. What were your top 5 picks of 4K releases from February 2024? Sound off in the comments down below. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.